let's just do the second story super quick. It's not actually a huge amount to add to it because, we don't really buy into this look at there's polls going on and where would they be if they had an election today? But there was a poll done and the polling basically I've just said we don't do this, but to let you know, it had a hung parliament, which means literally nothing. But there are some more things that are more relevant that come out from some polling, like who is the preferred Prime Minister, who is a more popular leader, and it's not Christopher Luxon.
There's more bad news for Luxon. Chris Hipkins is slightly more popular as preferred Prime Minister.
The message...
I mean, that's devastating, actually. That's devastating in any poll. We talked about this last time, True, before the election. I don't know if we've ever had an example where the preferred Prime Minister wasn't ending up being the Prime Minister. The losers don't typically end up winning that. I can't ever imagine there's been a government within a year where the Prime Minister has lost that preferred Prime Minister status. That's actually a really sort of devastating overall indictment of what's going on. But there's more. Let's have a look.
Popular as preferred Prime Minister.
The message from Kiwis is that they want me to keep working hard to deliver outcomes from them. And
this is something I noticed in that interview. Yeah, this is something I noticed at the interview. And this is the look, so let's identify this, team. This is the CEO talk. To actually, because you think if you've got a product that you're selling and it's number 4 in the marketplace, you talk about it like it's number 1. You talk about it like it's the fear of all the others. And that's what this is. When we go to have a look at Q&A, how many times he said, and isn't it great? Like Jack Tame would say something to him that was really negative and he'd go, and isn't it great? This is what, and they talk about CEO talk, this is it. Him basically saying the opposite of the point he's just been asked, because that's what you do in sales, right? In sales is a theory called the ABC? Oh, yeah, ABC. The ABC, right? The ABC theory in sales means always be closing. So if you're trying to sell something, you've got your pen on the docket and you try and close it. ABC, always be closing. Oh, so do you want to buy it now? Do you want to sign the contract now? Or how about now? Do you want to sign the contract? And that's what it is. It's like, isn't this awesome? If you say it enough to enough people, then they'll go, it's awesome. I'll buy it. And if you're not clear, that's what they mean when they talk about CEO talk. Anything, Chewy?
Yeah, I think this is a really key part of why that poll's turned on him, is because when people see the repetition and the emptiness of those words, look, what I'd say to you is, I think everybody's working just really hard, super hard on delivering outcomes for insert group here. It's empty. It's empty. People are questioning on him on this corpo nonsense talk.
Yeah.
And he's acknowledged it, but he can't change it.
Yeah.
And look, I've been I am a salesperson. I get how comforting the crutch of, this pitch has worked well for me in the past, I'll just recycle it. Customers can see through it. And as much as us taxpayers, us citizens hate being called customers, we are the customers of what he's selling.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
If you see that repetition again and again and again, you can just call it what it is. It's a recycled pitch and it's not working.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the end of this one, because that actually kind of flows into the Q&A, and you'll hear the whole, I wrote it down, all right, isn't it great? Because he says it so many times. I know he says some other things so many times, but you're going to show us, Chewy, but he said, isn't it great several times, to try and point to the opposite of what Jack is saying. It's really weird.
From Kiwis is that they want me to keep working hard to deliver outcomes from them, and they can see us doing that.
Generally speaking, you'd expect to drop in popularity when you move from being Prime Minister to being Leader of the Opposition. It's kind of the nature of politics. But the fact that my favourable ratings are still very high, I take some encouragement from that.
But the surprise result is former Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. She has the highest level of favourability among voters on 44%. Those are numbers David Seymour...
I'm like, what, is this from this is from March 2020? She's got the highest favourability. Everyone's finally going, like the sane people are finally going, oh, yeah. I see.
Right. We hounded her from office.
Yeah, maybe that was a bad move by us. Maybe we could have competent leadership if we hadn't chased her away.
We let some of the country's worst people say the most shocking things about her, to the point where she walked away.
Yep. Yep. All right.
Favourability among voters on 44%.
Truth.
Those are numbers David Seymour could only dream of. His favourables have taken a whopping 30-point hit since the same poll was taken last August.
Our party is about where it was at the election. As far as personal favourability, I found that's the most volatile thing there is.
Just 1 year on from the election, a poll that shows all sides have everything to play for in 2026.
Well, I mean, you don't need a poll to tell us that, respectfully, Andrea. We know that. Like, oh my gosh, Chewy, this poll's come out and now Labor realises it's all to play for. Before this poll, they had no idea. That's why these polls are stupid. But those are some really interesting little tidbits about the leadership. Yeah, go, sir.
This is the part where we mock the poll, right? Because the poll is stupid. We're so far out. Like the only thing that is good about polls this far out is to try and see a trend.
Yeah.
Like the difference that they're talking about between Hipkins and Luxon it is well within the margin of error. And so far out that it doesn't matter. Like it is gaming. It is just wanting your team to score points. And we're going to revel in it a little bit. I'm going to take the most out. Seymour taking a 30-point hit, which I guess puts him on negative 27 now, I assume, is the most delicious part of that. But yeah, there was a comment, I didn't see who made it. I'm not going to go looking for it. That said the fact that Jacinda's on it makes the whole poll irrelevant.
Yeah,
that's dumb also, because the poll is, who's your preferred prime minister?
Yeah.
That's the question. Like if people decided, Mahatma Gandhi, as deputy leader of thingy, if there were enough people that answered that would be in the poll. Yeah. Yes, it's dumb, but that's the question.
Yeah. So, and that's why we don't pay much attention, to be frank, about how many seats in Parliament. That's all bullshit. Don't worry about that stuff. But the trends it shows are interesting. And the trend is like from that, a little dip from National, a little rise from Labor. That's really the trend. Everyone else, much of a muchness. But those prefer that. Basically what that's saying is if you could pick someone to run the country today, who would it be? And for Luxon to be, it sounds like at least third. Jacinda's number one, Chippy's number two. So think about it that way. Add both of those Labor leaders together, you're probably getting to 75%. Think about it that way. And then there's C-Lux.